All right. Hello, good morning, or good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go over with you your packet review. Now, I'm going over it. I need to make a couple of disclaimers. One, if you do not have something, do not ask for a copy from anybody there. I'm not going to give you an extra copy. These are all can be found except for the sex ed packet online on Edmodo. You will need to go home, print it out yourself. Those have all the answers on them, and then put them in your folder. Okay? Do not ask for a copy here. These copies that I have in my file cabinets are for next semester. They've been numbered and everything. So please, please do not ask for an extra copy. I will not give it to you. My people who have not been here since day one, you will follow along from whatever date that you came in. We will talk about how we're going to do your test when I get back. Most likely you will just do the parts of the test that you were present for, and you won't have to do the rest of the test. Okay? Okay, let's get started. So, first thing that you're going to need is the health triangle paper. This is the Cornell notes that we started with. It says health triangle on it, objective, what is health, what is wellness, healthy behaviors, what is mental health, what is emotional health, what is social health or physical health. We are talking about the parts of the triangle. Your color may be different from mine depending if you got an extra copy and it was not yellow. I'm trying to color coordinate different sections, but it doesn't always happen that way. So this is what you're going with first. Once you find this, again, health triangle Cornell notes, you're going to take it and put it face down on your desk. Okay? That way that's the first thing that you have. Once we do that, we are going to look for your reteaching activity. You may have it either way. It might look like this in the beginning, or it might look like this. You might have both, or you might have it back to back, depending on what copy you got. That's all it is. So on one side, it has the reteaching of the health triangle. Remember, you have three parts of the health triangle: your mental, your social, and your physical. Mental, emotional health, social health, and your physical health. All right, you need to know your definitions of it and ways to improve. On the other side, which would be this one, you have your examples of different types of triangles. We went over this together. I promise you there will be 2 scenarios from this page. So make sure that you have this. If you don't, go online to the Edmodo, copy it, print it, and make sure you have it in your order. All right? So you're going to take this one, or if you have both and it's not back to back but stapled together, put those together, and that is now going face down on your paper. At any time that we have to slow down, just ask the teacher to pause it so that you can find it in peace. Okay? I'm going to keep going. After that, ladies and gentlemen, you need your mental, emotional checklist. Mental, emotional notes and checklist. This is the one with the box and he says, I am great. Do not get this mixed up with your worksheet. This is the notes and the checklist. So it got the little guy who's in love, has a checklist on there. It has what is mental, emotional health and the definition. This is what it looks like in the front. This is what it looks like in the back in case you're looking through your papers. It has all of the 15 on your checklist. I promise you now there will be one question about the checklist, so make sure you have this handy. Again, if you don't have this with you, print it out from the Edmodo. It is on there under mental emotional health, and make sure it's all filled out. Okay, moving on. Again, if you need me to go slower, ask the teacher. She can stop it for you. Okay, after that you have the mental and emotional worksheet. This is the worksheet that you did individually. All right, you're going to need it because you will need to reference it perhaps for the essay. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So on the front of it is the little, what is he, a bear? I'm going to say a bear. And then you have the little mouse. It is the worksheet. Do not get that confused with the checklist. Checklist first, worksheet second. Again, once you find this was what it looks like in the back. Once you find this, please go ahead and place it face down on your desk. So far you have this in the front, this in the back, face down. Okay, after that you have your mental and emotional health and disorders review. This is one of the only bookworks you had. This is pretty important because guess what? It has a lot of your definitions, and those definitions will be found on your exam. So make sure you know them, you're familiar where to find it. Again, this is the one that says chapter review on the top. And on the back, it has those signs, 10 warning signs of suicide and the brief descriptions of them. Then you actually got the types of therapy, family, individual, and group. Make sure you know the difference between the psychologist and the psychiatrist. If you don't know, somebody explain it right now. I'll give you a moment. And that's what you're going to do. All right. So once you have this, it may be yellow, it may be a different color, again, depending on where I was on my copies and my printing. So once you're done with that, face down on your desk. All right, next one that you have is the stress notes. Again, different color perhaps, really depends. If you're not there, these are on Edmodo. Go over there and print them out. So what is stress? What is eustress? What is distress? What are coping strategies? What are some ways to cope with the stress? And remember, we did some stress avoidance activities. You got to color. You've got to do some yoga. There were different things we did, all right? Make sure that you have this. I am also going to let you know that this might be beneficial to you on Monday and Tuesday for your essay exam or essay portion of your exam. So if you want to bring in all your notes, I strongly recommend it. There is no back page to this. It's just the front. What is stress? What is eustress? What is negative stress? Distress? What are coping strategies? And what are ways to cope with stress? Okay? Oh, excuse me. We do not do that. Okay. From there, remember that we put mental, emotional, or stress and those kinds of things together with our nervous system. So one portion was mental, emotional health. The other was the physical, which was the brain itself. So you had to learn about the nervous system. You may or may not have the reading. The reading you may have on the iPad. Some of you may actually have a physical reading. You're more than welcome to use both of them, okay? Whether it be on the iPad or here. What I strongly suggest, if you're going to be using your iPad for this, download them into a folder where they're very accessible very easily so that you don't have to keep trying to open Edmodo every single time, especially because every single time we have finals, the internet crashes because our teachers are trying to place the grades in, so internet's incredibly slow. So make sure you have a copy in hand, whether it be physically or in a folder on your iPad that does not need the internet. Okay? So the nervous system, this is the reading, face down. And then you have the actual packet. So on the top it says the nervous system, right there. Nervous system. It has the questions. Like, for example, what is the main job of the nervous system? I may ask you a question like, what is a foot? What is the foot nerve? It's part of what part of the nervous system, whether it be the central nervous system or the peripheral nervous system. And where you would find that is over in the section that we talked about the peripheral nervous system and the central nervous system. So, foot nerve, if it is not part of the inside nerves or that spinal nerve, it's on the outside. So would it be peripheral or would it be central? Think about it. If you don't know the answer, it is time to start studying, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? So you have your CBM or CBR, CBL, and BSM. you have to know what are the functions of the cerebellum, the cerebrum, the medulla, the spinal cord, and the spinal nerves. You need to have this filled out. Again, if you don't have it filled out, this packet is found on Edmodo, so I do not want to hear excuses that Miss, I wasn't there. You can print them out and take it with you, or put it in a folder on your iPad that you don't have to access the internet. All right. This person's there but never picked up their their assignment, so I'm going to use them. Not such a great grade, but anyway. So you got your exam back. Obviously, you're not going to be able to use this part. However, you are going to be able to use the back portion. So if you know the answers, because I took the time to actually correct it for you, you might want to have this available. Okay? Down here, you have those 5 warning signs. Obviously, it was -5 there, but you would find this very beneficial to you to have with your packet. All right? I'm covering the person's name. There you go. This is going to be the central nervous system answer key. This was yours to keep. And I turned this in pretty late to you because I had it the entire time. All right. From there, you have your 5 senses packet. So this is the big, thick packet that you have. It covers the sense of taste. It covers smell. It covers the actual skin. Yesterday we were talking about the skin when we were talking about STDs and where the pores are and things like that. You might want to look over this. Even if it's for a brief moment, you might want to do an understanding of the labels, especially the epidermis, the dermis, and the hypodermis. These are hints of what you should look for. You also might want to look at the actual questions. Remember, I work harder, or smarter, not harder. I am going to pull questions that you've already answered and that we went over together. So it might be a good idea to look at these multiple choice questions here. Multiple choice questions for the ear. And the multiple choice questions for sight. No, you will not have to answer the questions for the diagram. What I do need you to know is you might be finding your Bill Nye, the Science Guy papers in between all these. Put all those Bill Nye papers to the side because those are going to be at the last section. They have their own section by themselves. They are not blended in with the rest of your notes. Okay? From there, ladies and gentlemen, you have your circulatory packet that you need to have with you. Unfortunately, I did not bring a copy with me to home. So if you know what it looks like, please show it to everybody right now. I'll give you a moment. Circulatory packet. If you have the reading, please show that reading as well. You need both of those things with you. On top of that, remember when you did the user's guide and you had the questions and you wrote the answers? You're going to need your answer portion. If for whatever reason you have this, so be it. Put them together. You will need to know this for your exam as well. So make sure you have this available for you so at least you can review it and try to trigger your memory. Okay? So again, this is your heart, a user's guide answers. You got this back just a few days ago, ladies and gentlemen. So Andrea, I have yours. If you're back already, I will give this to you the day of the test. So remind me. Again, some of you may actually have the actual sheet. That is okay as well. Go ahead and put these down. Okay, let me cover names. All right. After that, you have the quiz for the circulatory packet. There's only true or false, ladies and gentlemen, so if you got it wrong, then you know the answer is the opposite. So make sure you have this available for you. You want to make sure that you have this. I do have a couple of the same questions on here. A question that I might ask from the circulatory questions would be maybe something along the lines of, What is known as the silent killer? Ooh, it's asking me to cancel. What is known as a silent killer? Is it A, heart disease, B, high blood pressure, or C, high cholesterol? I need you to think about it. I'm not giving you the answer. Keep moving on. Okay. From circulatory, we move right into the respiratory system. If you have the reading, this is what it looks like. Let me put this up a little bit more. On the top it says respiratory system. Who knows the parts of this system are? If you have the reading, again, you will have it on Edmodo if necessary. Place that down. And then the one sheet. The packet looks like a one-sheeter. It is, one side is the alveoli and all the definitions. The other side is the actual diagram of it. Okay? That's what you need to have available to you. After that, you got back your respiratory system test. I'm trying to cover the name. There we go. So you need to have your respiratory system test with you. This is going to help you. Obviously, I did not give you the answers, but it gives you an idea of what you need to know. Right? So make sure to have this available. It's a two-parter. The back is there. I guarantee you 3 of these questions from the back are on the final. I'm letting you know right now. 3 of these questions on the back are already on the final. No, I'm not telling you which ones. All right. From there, we have endocrine. Excuse me. Oh, I'm tired. Okay. Endocrine system. You either have the reading or you have it on the iPad. And you have your packet. Ladies and gentlemen, I only have about 3 questions on this one, so I don't want you to stress too much about them. Please make sure that you are familiar with it. Look over it at least. You want to know what kind of functions can come from it. Looking at this page, you're going to be able to answer 3 of the questions. Okay, I'm letting you know right now. So if you want to highlight or circle something on this page, I'm letting you know. This area would be a very good area to know. And if you don't know the functions that well, they're right over here. So when you've attached it along the lines, the function's on this side. So for example, if I ask you what the adrenal gland's function is to do, you would have that connection on here. And I'm not telling you which one it is. Okay? So make sure you have that endocrine system. Again, this is available online. From there, we go into the excretory system. Excretory system, you either have the reading or you don't. Again, on your iPad. The actual packet itself looks like this. Okay. Excretory system. This is what it looks like. Inside, you have the questions that you had to answer. All of these can be found on the iPad in the library, Edmodo library. And you have this. All right, this again is your excretory system. This is what it looks like in the front. Okay, moving on. Human skeletal system. Woo, this one's a pretty easy one to find. I don't have the reading for it on front of me, but their skeletal system, it says something about the factory in front of it. That's the reading. This is the packet. I guarantee you, you have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have 10 questions alone coming from the skeletal packet. If you don't have it, copy it from somebody. Again, do not ask for a copy of the packet itself. I'm not giving out copies. That is for the next semester. You need to download them and print them off of the Edmodo, okay? Do not ask for them. This is what it looks like in the front. Pretty easy to find. Okay. Next one, ladies and gentlemen, is that muscular system. Again, if I'm going too quickly, make sure to ask the teacher to please pause it so that you can look for them in peace. I understand that you have a lot of them. Your muscles, this is the reading. Okay. And then you actually have the packet. The packet's the one that has, if it is smooth skeletal or cardio or cardiac muscle, then you have involuntary, voluntary, or both. Make sure you know the difference between these, ladies and gentlemen. There's only one that would be cardiac muscle. If you don't know that, this is something you should know. Involuntary, voluntary, both. That means, can they move by themselves? Or do you have to think about it before it moves? Or can they be both? All right? So those are some things that you need to know. Inside you would have the reading. You would also have the muscular system. And you may or may not have the test. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pretty sure that you also had a skeletal test. I just realized that I went through that. If you have your skeletal test, that's where you would fit it in. I do not have a copy of the skeletal test for whatever reason. So make sure if you do have the skeletal system test to actually add that behind your muscles so that they're all there together. If there are any other exams, you want to make sure that they're right behind their topic. I'm pretty sure you don't have an endocrine or excretory because I never made one. So neither did Miss Hart. Those are a little bit heavy, and we go through those so quickly that we don't really waste time on a test for those. Okay. Next section, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. Oh. Digestive system. This is your reading. And the packet should be pretty easy to find. Has your digestive system in there. You should be able to trace digestion from the beginning, which are in your mouth, those salivary glands going down to the back. You'd be able to let me know what this little portion right here is called, that flap. If you don't know what the flap is, ask somebody in class to tell it out loud. Hopefully it's correct. Starts with an E, ends with glottis. Good grief. So hopefully somebody said it already. If not, that's what it is. It's the epiglottis. Remember that changes from the trachea and the esophagus. Your trachea is part of your windpipe that goes to your lungs. Your esophagus is a tube that goes down towards your stomach. All right, ladies and gentlemen? So we have what's called peristalsis. It's the movement of your esophagus or the muscles in your esophagus doing this. And that takes down the food towards your stomach. Once it gets to your stomach, plop, it's going to go through and is going to be helped by your pancreas. It's going to be helped by your bile. And then it's going to move in to the small intestine. Small intestine is where you get your nutrients. Remember that? It has all the liquid. It's going to take the liquid out, and then it's going to go into your large intestine. By your large intestine, you have your feces, and then it's going to move down to that X, which represents what? Your anus, if you don't remember. Okay? So, make sure you know the movement of it. From here, ladies and gentlemen, you have what is digestion? Why do you need it? How are we consumers? These are things that you need to understand. You need to understand the difference between chemical digestion and mechanical digestion. Remember, mechanical means chewing, movement, something that's grinding. The chemical means that the saliva, the juices, the chyme. If you don't know what the definition of chyme is, look it up. That is something you're going to need to know. And where would you find chyme? That should be your number 7 on page 76. And if you didn't answer this question, you need to go onto the Edmodo, go onto the Digestive System Library, and then look at the answers for this. This is on there. Do not tell me it's not. and then it ends with the crossword. Okay. From there, ladies and gentlemen, I'll cover it. You need to have your exam on the digestive system. This is going to be helpful as well because it's a very easy way for you to find all your answers. Again, I don't work harder, I work smarter. It does have a back as well. As long as most of these are correct, this is going to help you out tremendously. So I recommend that you look over your exams more than just your notes and the readings. Okay? Yours may either be blue, it could be yellow, it could be white. Very much depends on how many copies I had left. All right? Then, ladies and gentlemen, from there, you need to have your CPR paper. Oh, you didn't know that you had to have your CPR paper? You did. Your CPR paper, ladies and gentlemen, is the one that you were given in CPR class. We do go over some of those questions. So, for example, if I asked you, what does CPR stand for? You would be able to look it up on this paper here. If you look at... Are you kidding me? I don't have CPR on this? It is emergency CPR. If you look right underneath it, it tells you what it stands for. Right there. So if I were you, I'd highlight that if you weren't familiar with it. If you think you're going to remember, great. If you don't, highlight it, circle it, underline it. I'm giving examples of how you're going to find your information. So you will need to be familiar with this paper. I don't even have copies of this one. I forget his name. He brings them with him. So whatever I have left over, I keep one just to keep as a sample. The rest, they're already given out. And if you lose it, you lose it, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize. Okay, one thing that I do not have, and it's like, really? I don't? But you need all the pamphlets that Marty gave you during the drugs. So hopefully you kept those. If you didn't, okay. You need to know what gateway drugs are. You also need to know what alcohol affects and damages the most. And you also need to know how to treat addiction. I'm letting you know right now. These are things you have to know. You want to be also familiar with tobacco, ladies and gentlemen. Another packet that I should have in front of me, but I don't, and you should all have it because I just graded them for you, is your reproductive packet. So that sex ed packet that we just finished yesterday, that packet should be next. So pretend that packet's here. That goes right now behind your CPR. So make sure you have that. Okay. Now the part where you have pretty much all the leftover stuff. You should have your Bill Nye eyeball. Bill Nye eyeball. Again, different colors. Depends on what class, how many copies I had. So this may be in color, may not be in color. Really depends. Bill Nye eyeball. None of these have the answer. Sorry. Okay. From there, ladies and gentlemen, you have a couple of them. And if I'm missing some, just make sure that they're all there. You should have the skin. Yours might be a shorter version of this one, but you should have one of the skin Bill Nye's. Bill Nye skin. You either have this one or a smaller version of it. Okay. From there, ladies and gentlemen, you have a couple. You have the bones and muscles. Bones and muscles. I guarantee you there will be two from this paper right here. You also have the blood and circulation. Blood and circulation. You have a couple of half sheets, I understand. You also have the heart video. You have your respiratory. This is what it looks like, respiratory. There you go, respiratory. And you should also have your magic school bus. It's the muscles. You should also have, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know why I don't have it, is the Bill Nye on digestion. That one should be in there as well. There are 2 questions from it. So make sure to have that available to you. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, if you are missing an assignment, or it says on your Interact that you've missed an assignment, and you actually had the physical paper with you, and you're saying, why did I not get a grade, but it was graded, what you're going to do for me is you're going to, let me use a fake person's. What you're going to do for me is you're going to take a picture of it. It could be on your cell phone, I don't care. You're going to send it to me, and you all have my email address. I put it on Edmodo. Go back to the Edmodo and click on it. I prefer that you use that Gmail one. Don't use the Interact one. It's difficult for me to check it when I'm not at school. It's just not easy. It's not nice about that. So if you send it to the Gmail one, it's a lot easier for me to check. But then you would take a picture of it, make sure it has the grade there, and then I'll enter it for you. Because that was my mistake. I accidentally did not enter your grade. However, do not come up to me and say, Miss, I had it. I just didn't know it needed to be turned in. I'm not taking that any longer. So, that is your complete work. You started with your health triangle. You ended with all your Bill Nyes. You have it all nice and neat for yourselves. If you have any questions, again, you can email me. You can also, if you had the work there, take a picture of the work and with the grade, clearly make sure your name is on there and send it to me, and please ask me politely to enter this one because unfortunately it had not been entered before. Okay? What you're going to do tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, is you're going to go over some of the answers or questions and answers from the exam, from the actual exam. So what I strongly recommend is that you bring these back tomorrow. It will be read off to you. It'll give you the options. You need to look for them. And that's it. So however many you can get done during that time, that's going to be up to you and your class and how quickly or how slowly you go. And then on Monday and Tuesday, you will be working on your essay questions. I strongly recommend that you bring those in with this because that's going to help you. You have those 2 periods to work on those essays. Okay? You will turn in your essays on Tuesday. Not on Wednesday, not on Thursday, not on Friday. On Tuesday. So they need to be completed. So if you feel like you're not going to have enough time, on Monday, take it home to do as homework, and then on Tuesday, you're just finishing up touches so that I can grade them. They'll be worth 50 points. The teacher will let you know how that's going to work. The prompts will be up on Edmodo approximately at 8 a.m. on Monday, not any time earlier. And if you don't have an iPad, don't worry. We do have physical copies that you can use. Okay? So good luck. I will see you on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. And that's it. If you need anything, email me. I will try to check my email as often as possible. Okay? Have a good day. Bye.